Hello and welcome to another edition of the Rollin Illini. I am Joshua joined by Avery, Schaefer, and Miles Hill. We've had an incredible week here. You're listening to us on WPGU 107.1. If you're looking for the Illini Drive, we're sorry, we're not the Illini Drive, but we're kind of like the Illini Drive for adaptive athletics. And this week we have a really cool guest with us. It is Gabe Denbraber, a freshman on our men's wheelchair basketball team. Gabe, how are you?
I'm great, Josh, but, I just have to call you out on it. It's Denbraber.
It's Denbraber?
I'm a little disappointed.
It's with a B?
Yes.
Oh,
that's tough. It's alright, though. I'm doing good, though. Thanks for having me on the show tonight.
Okay, where can people find you on social media?
Twitter, it's capital G, capital D, and then Denbraber. And then Instagram, it's Gabe_Denbraber, and then Snapchat, Gabe1334.
Ooh, giving up the Snapchat.
I have to.
All right.
1334.
All right. So, as a freshman on the team, have practices so far kind of met your expectations?
It's met it completely in the fact that it's everything that you kind of dreamt of, like being in the juniors league. You have most juniors team, you either practice once or twice a week, but usually it's once a week.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just kind of you don't feel like you're getting a lot out of it. And so when I wanted to, when I was getting recruited, I was like, all right, well, what am I going to get the most out of? And, when you come here, it's definitely, you're getting a lot of work in, and you're getting so many different things. So you're not just pushing, you're getting chair skills, you're getting shots up. So it's definitely exceeded my expectations.
Yeah. Let's talk about your path here for a minute. So talk about how you got involved in wheelchair basketball and what your high school career was like.
Yeah, so interesting. Well, I joined in the 7th grade, so this is my 6th year playing. I used to play baseball. I was able to walk, but with spina bifida, everything is fluctuated. So obviously, as you know, you could get injured later in life, or it can just get progressively worse. So it wasn't until Matt Talbot, my teammate, came up to me and asked me at a therapy session, and so I joined, and right away I fell in love. It was just from the beginning.
You met Matt at a therapy session?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was very interesting because I was it was just when I was told I'll never be able to play baseball again, so I was that stubborn kid, just feeling sorry for myself, and I was like, I don't want to do wheelchair sports, I can come back from this. And so Matt was like, you should come try wheelchair basketball. I was like, yeah, okay, nice one. And then that summer, 7th grade summer, my dad was like, I'm taking your butt, and we're going to go practice. And I was like, no. And we got there, and I fell in love instantly. And Chris Comer and Charlie McDonald, shout out to you guys, but those are the two people that really grained into me what it is being a wheelchair athlete.
Yeah, and for those listeners who don't know, Matt Talbot is kind of a freshman. He went to Southwest Minnesota State last year. This year's our manager and will join the team next year as a player. An incredible guy and an incredible player, and we are happy to have both of you from that Grand Rapids team.
Yeah, but my high school career was amazing. We finished decently first couple of years, and then my junior year, we really came together as a team, and we had a lot of off-court issues with just teammates butting heads with each other, and then
teammates butting heads with refs.
Yeah, teammates butting heads with other people on different teams. And then, when we got to nationals, we were kind of listen, we know what we want to do here, and let's get it done. And I don't know, Josh, maybe you want to talk about the championship game in 2017?
Yes. So Gabe and I kind of go way back up. For some reason, our Grand Rapids and Atlanta teams kind of had a rivalry that
we did not like each other.
Yeah, did not like each other very much, which is funny now because Gabe and I are really, really cool, really good friends. We live right next to each other. We have class together, so we talk a lot. But got to that championship game, and we had beat them, I think, every single time up to that point.
Yep.
There's a lower level called Prep, and we had beat his team, and that's kind of where it all began before Gabe joined. And then this is my senior year, his junior year. Well, my team laid an egg, and Gabe's team won the national championship. Your boy right here shot 2 for 23 in that game, so Gabe likes to kind of poke me about that, and that's fun. But you guys had a lot of seniors on that team, including Matt Talbot, including
Tanner Gentry.
Yeah, Tanner Gentry. So then you came into your senior year of high school, and you were the main player that was left on that team. So what was that like transitioning from being kind of one of many to one of one?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Me and my dad already like talked about it, and we were like, what do I need to do better? And, you know, I don't get to have anywhere where I can grab the boards, and I know my boy Matt Talbot or Tanner is going to be on the fly, and I can just dish it out to him, and they're just going to get an easy layup. It's more I have to stop and look at what I can read. And so I had to be more court aware, and so it was really frustrating at points when you just want to dish it out because all you know if you give it up, it's going to be a turnover. Mm-hmm. And so you're just trying to keep your composure, and so it's really, like, mental toughness, like, that whole year, just, like, trying to, like, grind it out and just kind of knowing that at the end, I'm going to be here at Illinois. And surprisingly, we won the NIT championship, so.
Which is for the number 16th ranked team in the country.
16th.
So in the AAU type level,
yes.
the NWBA, it's broken up into two. So the national championships 1 through 16, but 17 through 32 play in another one called the NIT.
It's kind of like NCAA basketball. You have the 64, then you have the NIT. You have the teams that didn't make it to the big dance. So,
but there's only 32 teams in wheelchair basketball that make it to nationals.
Yeah,
so,
there's a lot more, but
that's still a huge accomplishment for that team. So talk about a little bit about your recruiting, because you were a highly recruited player out of high school. What was that like? What was your recruiting visit here like? Just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I was recruited by majority of the colleges. I won't say all, but majority. And the three things I wanted was family, coaching, and then like structure. So like an education. Obviously, that's kind of what I mean by structure. So when I went on all my visits, I would really look at like how the teammates interact with each other. Like I kind of went more in depth than I feel like most kids do. And again, I'm not speaking for everyone, but you know, I was really just like, all right, what can I get the most out of? Who am I gonna get the most out of too? And so I came here, and it was just amazing. Like. It was breathtaking. Like the campus was beautiful. Like all of you guys were awesome, and like right away I saw that like family right away. You could just see like during practice, like if someone made a mistake, you're picking each other up. And then same with the coach. Like you know, you want a coach who will like make sure you're on your stuff, but you also want one who's going to be encouraging and like allow you to make those mistakes to then be a better player.
Yeah, huge shout out to the two seniors we had last year, Mike and Spencer. Incredible examples because. There were a lot of freshmen last year and a lot of freshmen this year, and they were the one that really, put the foundation for the culture of the team down. So shout out to them. All right, so then let's talk about it. It's basically game week already. We have 3 more practices until we get up at 5 a.m. to head to Texas.
It's Natty season, baby.
Yeah, so it's Natty season. So talk a little bit about what your expectations are for this first tournament for the team.
Obviously, we still don't have all of our pieces into place, as we know. So that's just a roadblock, and I think we can fuel that and use that for next weekend. And, I've kind of talked to Coach about it, Coach Bushy, and in a sense, no one expects anything from Illinois this year. They're like, that's the team that underachieved last year. That's the team that really should achieve. And so who do they have coming in? And we have a really talented freshman class. Like, we brought in great 5 guys that are just ballers.
I would argue it's the best class of last year.
I agree too. Like we brought in solid guys that all fit the piece in the puzzle, and so my expectation is we just play together, and that we have fun while doing it and like ball out and know what we can accomplish, and not get frustrated, and understand that it's the first tournament, so we're gonna have being a young team again. We're gonna have those bumps and bruises, but we have to if we can still like come together as a team, then it's only gonna go harder from there.
Absolutely. All right, so real quick, and then we'll get back to your question, Avery. We just want to remind you guys that our show and the Illini Drive are brought to you Monday through Friday by the University of Illinois Division of Intercollegiate Athletics. Basketball season starts tonight at 7 p.m. at the State Farm Center for the next edition.
That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, it should not be a good game.
It's going to be a good game.
Illinois should not win.
I'm excited to see AO play.
Yeah, AO's suiting up for the first time over 12 months since he first committed to Illinois. A very talented freshman. So that team's going to be very good, so get your tickets for that. It's Dad's weekend. Football's back in town.
You got your tickets?
I have my ticket. Of course I have my ticket.
Miles?
I got my ticket, though.
You
really think I didn't have a ticket?
BJ Flex, Minnesota team's going to come in town, and it's a must-win for the Illini to keep our bowl game dreams alive. So be there. If your parents and family are in town like Gabe's are, be there with them. And just remember that we are brought to you by the University of Illinois Division of Intercollegiate Athletics. All right, back to Gabe. All right, Avery, what was your question?
Now, some players like coaches who are very direct and will point out mistakes and be very hard on you. On the other hand, some players like a sympathetic coach What type do you do best with?
That's a very good point. First off, Avery, that's something I think a lot of athletes need to look into when they're being recruited is how they want to be coached and what kind of coach that coach is. And I would honestly say both. I was actually just talking to Willie, one of our teammates, a.k.a. Ben. But we were just talking about how he does a very good job at being sympathetic and allowing you to make those mistakes. But since he doesn't really get into us that much, when he does, you know that he's serious and it's not that he's upset, he knows that we can do better. And I think that's what separates him from a lot of coaches, is that he allows you to make those mistakes, he allows you to kind of like do your own thing, then he steps in and guides. And then when he needs to lay down the law, he can lay it down and we know it's time to go.
Yeah, Bush is that type of guy, man. He's a great coach, and really, you said it perfectly. When he's serious, he may not be slouching. He's gonna call you out on it. Tell you, he's gonna catch you.
He'll call you out on it if he knows you can do better. That's exactly.
And I think that's what you kind of need is, because you see the coaches, like you said, Avery, like that will just lay into you, and at some point you're just gonna tune it out, and it's not gonna mean as much. And so, but if you have that coach who's helping you, and then he lays into you, it's like he means business.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not just constantly yelling at you.
Absolutely. All right. So in the next 2 weeks, because the wheelchair basketball teams travel back-to-back weekends next year in Texas. The week after that,
Whitewater.
to Whitewater, Wisconsin.
Yo.
All right. So that means that we have a lot of games coming up. Defending national champs Alabama, Auburn, which has a lot of players that we know. UTA, which at UTA will be a great game. Wisconsin Whitewater at Wisconsin Whitewater, a perennial powerhouse. Which of those games do you have circled on your calendar?
Great one.
To be taking all personal things aside, for us as a team and for me as a competitor, Alabama. Like we were talking about earlier, we're not very looked at as a high competitor this year because of how underachieving we did last year. So Alabama, can you imagine just first game, the defending national championships, this young team comes out and just balls out. That would be, I think that would set the tone for the season. And that would then be like, oh, these guys mean business. Illinois is a team to reckon with this year.
Yeah.
And so for me, that first game at UTA against Alabama is, I think, what the one I have circled on.
Miles, which one do you have circled?
Oh, man, that's a good question. Honestly, I'm going to have to go with probably UTA. At UTA.
Yeah, UTA.
That environment, I think you're right with beating national champions. Dude, that has set the tone. But imagine going all the way to UTA. Their homecoming. It's on the schedule.
I forgot that it is homecoming
that
weekend.
Packed.
Yeah,
And we just beat them.
So for the
and it's quiet.
For the viewers that don't know, UTA's homecoming is next week when we're going to be there. They have our game on the calendar. It's like a 7 p.m. game? Or
Yes. No,
It's a Saturday game at some time, so
Mm-hmm.
it's on their calendar, so they're telling their alumni and all their fans to get out there. UTA is very much behind their wheelchair basketball team, so it's going to be kind of a crazy environment for such a young team, so I think that's going to be a really exciting game, and it's going to tell a lot about what this team is made of.
And mental toughness, too. We talk about that. We really drill that at Illinois. We want to have mental toughness, and we don't want to be those people that glow or, get emotionally attached to the game. Obviously, you want to be a competitor, but, just focusing on you as U of I and no one else. And so I like that. I like Miles. I mean, that's going to be, if we can go down there, like you said, 15-hour bus ride and, just beat that home court team, it's going to be a good win.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you get initiation by fire on that bus ride. Both of you, first bus trip as a
Ooh,
team.
it's not Lexington too hot, Josh.
Yeah, I'm not trying to sit next to anybody for the next 14 hours. Man. Not next to no one.
The number one rule on the bus.
Absolutely intended, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. It's, rule number one on the bus is nobody talks until the sun comes up, because we're leaving at 5 a.m.
I like that.
Yeah. So, as long as you follow that
What, we got to...
Don't got to tell me twice.
Yeah.
Sleep in that.
All right, so we talked a lot about that, but this team hangs out a lot off the court. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So I don't know if any of our listeners have seen the new movie with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper.
Oh no.
A Star is Born. But we're not going to give any spoilers away.
No.
But Gabe, Kyle Jankowski was on the show last week. Thomas Duffy, who's a sophomore, and I went and saw that movie when it first came out. Talk a little bit about that experience, Gabe.
I was really dreading this question, Joshua. I mean, the experience was good. We talk. Well, here we do mandates. We call it. Where you want to go out with your teammates and connect. And It's a very sad movie. Like we said, we're not gonna give anything away, but it's gonna make you cry. And so we all cried, meaning me, Josh, and Kyle.
Yeah. No shame.
Thomas Duffy. He's a robot because he did not cry. But it was funny because like, we were all crying, and then we get in the car, and Kyle plays the last song, which if you go see the movie, you'll understand what I'm saying. The last song, and we all just started bawling again. And I was like, I went and told Coach the next day, I was like, listen, you can't get much closer than the guy. Like, you're crying together, you can't get much closer.
Here's the ultimate question, though. I know this is a sports show, but does that movie win Best Movie of the Year this year?
Hands down. I don't see anything else beating it.
Did you know Lady Gaga can act like that? Or Bradley Cooper can sing like that?
Okay, first off, Bradley Cooper.
That's a man. That's a man's
Hands
man.
off. Like, and then Lady Gaga did really well in her role, like just like completely, because you know she wears a lot of makeup and just like going like hurt. So
Yeah.
I thought that brought a lot of effect in the movie, and so I mean I thought she was beautiful in that movie.
This isn't a huge spoiler. There's one point in the movie where Lady Gaga's character goes and sings on SNL, and it's this really just terrible, very poppy song.
Yep.
And do you think that was intentional, like it's symbolism for like she can't do serious songs anymore?
Oh man.
Like, do you think that's symbolism?
I mean, you could say that, but I don't think so.
You don't think that was
I
intentional?
don't think so. I can see where you think it's intentional, but I don't think it was. I think it was just to show that like the movie was supposed to be raw, and that's why. Actually, I don't want to give a lot away, but that's why they don't really focus on that part. So.
I mean, I think it was an underrated turning point in the movie because that's when Bradley Cooper went back to his old ways and he didn't let the old ways die.
Now you're just getting really punny. Now you're getting really punny.
Hey, that's my area of expertise.
Yeah, so all of our viewers, if you haven't seen it yet, we highly recommend you go see it or you go get it out. They're not paying us to say that. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
What movie is this?
A Star is Born.
Okay.
Honestly, when I was invited to go see it, I thought it was a documentary about a Lady Gaga tour, and I was like,
I thought it was too, yeah.
I was like, why are we going to see this? And then the movie began. I was like, this is not what I thought it was.
This is
I was
way
not
better.
ready. So just wanted to ask you that question. All right. So then on Wednesday this week, is that when we did the videos? That will be posted on the Illinois Wheelchair
the
Basketball.
interviews.
Yeah.
Yes.
On the Illinois Wheelchair Basketball page, it'll be posted soon, I believe. We had to interview a teammate. I interviewed one of our freshmen, Johnny McNamara.
I interviewed Noah, one of our sophomores, and then Kyle Lafon, one of our juniors.
Yeah, I was with Dago Berto.
Shout out Naga.
And so the way it was set up was everybody else was shooting in the background. And you would interview your teammate and ask questions that people might want to know. So what happened when your interview was going on, Miles?
Oh man, y'all some clowns, man. Y'all are some clowns. Dago and I are just just trying to have a casual conversation, having an interview, joking around a little bit, because that's the whole point of it. And these buffoons in the background, man. Buffoons shooting basketballs into the rim. And now they're stockpiled up. There's like 6 of them in the rim. Everybody's in the back, just one person shooting. Everybody else is staring at the rim, trying to put 7 or 8 of them in there. And Bushy was telling me afterwards, all we see is Gabe in the back, just like, oh. Every time someone is, like, dang, Gabe, he was really invested into it, dog.
I want to see how.
Yeah.
I mean, it started last year as if 2 balls got stuck, we just filled it up. And we had like 8 basketballs out. So you're never going to fill it. But we got real close. And it was really funny to see the reaction when they finally figured out what we were doing and that we weren't actually shooting.
Oh, man.
Did anyone get all 5 letters? HORSE?
Of course. We didn't get the last 3
No.
balls in the, or was the last 2 we got? All
It
but
was
2.
the last 2, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that was fun. But then a popular question emerged, and I won it live on the Rolling Illini with Gabe. And then I'm probably going to ask Miles too.
Oh.
Gabe,
Yes.
hypothetically, if our team was on the show Survivor,
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
the reality TV
Quick
show.
question though, real quick.
Yeah.
Are the managers in there?
All right, so Matt Poland and Matt
Yes.
Talbot.
Let's say no.
Let's say no.
Let's
say
say
no.
our teammates.
Yeah, let's say that
Okay.
they're cameramen
I like it.
on the show. Because you need cameramen. All right.
There we go.
If you had to vote someone off the
Shout out Andy.
island, week 1, who would it be and why?
Be careful.
This is my future roommate
Oh.
and my dog.
Oh,
But I'd have to go Willie because he's an AB. He's got the most like.
AB meaning able-bodied.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
but so he's gotta be the most threat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like everyone, you want to keep the weakest, so that you can eliminate them easier later.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the strategy is take out the middler or like.
Yeah.
Honestly, week one it's not that competitive. Just take out like the most annoying one.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't do that on the TV show because then you would lose ratings.
Exactly.
All right, Miles.
Alright, so I gotta have two answers. Of course, we're gonna go with your perspective. Take the annoying one.
Wow. Who are you gonna call?
It's two perspectives. If I had to go for one, I have everybody on the team. It's gonna be I'd have to go with Kev. I feel like I would be, yeah, I'm sorry.
Do you respect the troops?
I wholeheartedly respect the troops. Anyways, I feel like Kev is too funny, and if I was trying to get something done, like build somewhere to sleep at night,
Facts.
I could not get it done with Kev around.
No, yeah.
All right, I'd be putting a leaf on the top of some sticks, and Kev would say some stupid joke about how I'm tucking the sticks into bed
Or
or
he's
something
like,
like that. And I couldn't get it done. Now, if I had to answer the question in terms of competition, it's got to be J-Mac. J-Mac he's got too many utilities.
Johnny McNamara, a guy from Champaign, a freshman.
Oh, yeah.
Very able-bodied, very competitive. I think that's a good pick.
Yeah.
Wait, now, hold on, let's not leave Josh
Hey,
out of
Miles,
this.
you gotta show some stick-to-itiveness.
Joshua?
Josh, yeah, what's your
Well,
answer?
yeah, what's your answer?
Oh, that's a great question. Week one. I'm taking Colin LaFont, aka Turnaround, for the sole purpose of when you do those videos in those rooms, he would say some bad stuff about me that I don't want on the TV show. So he's
that's
got,
a good point.
Oh, yeah, where you go and like, to the private interviews, you're like, dude,
Yeah.
you know Josh?
Yeah, do you know what Josh just did? Yeah. So I would take out Colin first so that wouldn't happen, and then we would worry about the competition later.
That's a respectable answer. I get one. That's a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
man.
that is my answer. All right. So
What's that?
what do you want to talk about, Gabe?
I'd like to. This is a very pressing topic here, I think, at the University of Illinois. The GOAT
The GOAT
of
of
the NBA.
okay, the NBA.
And, you know, this may just be a conversation between Miles Hill and I, but
Oh, you can
Miles Hill, who do you believe is the GOAT of the NBA?
Now, as I take off my
Wrong. Okay, it's Michael Jordan. So I want to hear that it's LeBron James. It's 6-3.
As I take off my championship ring and look at
Can I
it.
see it?
Oh wait, no.
Can I
let
see
me
it though?
tell you
Because
what
I'm pretty sure
it
it's a
says.
class ring.
It says LeBron is the greatest of all time.
Let me see it. Let me see it. From further investigation, it says Northern
Oh.
Knights 2018.
Hey,
So
listen.
this just in. This is a class ring. This is fake news.
This is alternative facts, not fake news. Anyways, LeBron's the greatest. I look, 73 and
Without
9.
a doubt.
73 and 9, down 3-1 in the NBA Finals. You can't tell me it gets more clutch than this.
No, I will have to agree with that. Like, as much as I do not like LeBron, you
But-
can't get more clutch than that.
But was it more the Golden State Warriors shooting themselves in the foot, or was it Cleveland rising to the occasion? I think it was more of Golden State shooting themselves in the
Oh
foot.
no, LeBron dropped 41 in Game 6. It's not.
Also, if Draymond Green doesn't get ejected from the game,
I agree.
does that change?
But that's Draymond's fault.
More
No, but
specifically,
we're not saying whose fault it is. We're saying, does that change the perspective of that series?
I think it does, but I think Cleveland still would have got the job done.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Which would then make him what? Would that make him
2-7?
2-7? And
Right.
so he's not clutch. You can't get it done.
Well, let's
Oh,
talk about this
oh.
year. Well, let's talk about that 2-7. You know, I think he has 9 or 10 straight NBA Finals appearances.
Oh, whoa.
Do you think that is in jeopardy this year with the Lakers?
Most definitely, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
The Lakers are not set up for success. It is
Here's my question:
Okay.
LeBron James is still a great player, but he's no longer in his prime.
I disagree.
I disagree. Every year he gets better.
I agree with that.
But why?
He actually.
As you hit your twilight, why would you still go to the stronger Western Conference when you can stay in the Eastern Conference?
I see it as this. This is my opinion.
I'm listening.
He signs a 4-year contract. How many times has he done that? Once. With the Miami Heat. And so what I believe is what you just said. So he's like, all right, Eastern Conference, I have my Cavaliers team. We're not good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was a miracle. Let's get real. It was a miracle that the Celtics or the Raptors did not knock them out last year.
Yeah.
And so he thinks, kind of what you were just saying, his prime might be over. So his kids are starting to get older, thinking about that. So he's like, let me go move out to somewhere nice. That's
Yeah.
the big mecca of basketball besides New York or Brooklyn, I would say.
Well, I think it was more of a business decision than a
That's what I'm kind of getting to.
Yeah.
Is like, he'll have a bigger name out there and sell more products. And then he also can now be in Los Angeles and be like, I played for the Lakers, one of the best
Franchises.
franchise, hands down.
It is the
But-
best basketball franchise.
But here's the
Yes,
other
I am.
question, right? Is like if LeBron doesn't produce a championship for LA, those LA fans turn on people very,
Yes.
very quickly. So will that tarnish his legacy if the LA fans turn on him?
I think so. I think if he doesn't win in LA,
And he won't, most likely.
Ooh.
I don't know about that because Kawhi wants to go there. Paul George wants to go. Well, no,
Paul George is
yeah.
not.
No, but how long did he sign his Oklahoma City contract?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
So he didn't even take the max, which was weird.
No, yeah,
That's,
so
that's an entirely different
I
topic.
think if he does not get a superstar, I can't see it. Because you, like, it's hard, like you said, when the Western Conference, you got James Harden, Chris Paul, Melo out there. You got, obviously, what runs through the West Conference is
Oh, yeah.
the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
And unless KD leaves, even I still even believe KD leaves with Klay Thompson, Steph, and Draymond. They did it without KD.
Oh yeah.
They're still gonna do it. They're gonna be dominant.
I think player wise, this team in Los Angeles is worse than the Cavs.
I agree.
And although we are seeing the Cavs struggle very
Not-
badly in the Eastern Conference.
Is Magic Johnson a terrible GM?
No, I think it comes down to Luke Walton.
What?
I think
What?
Luke
I
Walton.
think the problem is the personnel on the team.
You agree?
Brandon Ingram's not a shooter.
Kuzma should be
but
in the
who's in
game.
charge of personnel?
The
Walton.
GMs are in charge of personnel, but you can only like trade what actually has value. You're not gonna take the lint in my pocket for $2.
So you don't think like Lonzo Ball and Kuzma have value that they
No.
could trade for?
Lonzo has.
No one wants Lonzo.
The only reason Lonzo is still in Los Angeles is because he faked an injury. He would have been traded if he didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the truth.
That is the
Kuzma has value. Don't
Yeah,
get
he
me
has a
wrong,
lot of
but-
value. He's young, upside.
But Josh Hart gotta go. I think Rondo's a good point guard, but he does. I don't
Can't
think
shoot.
he fits.
He's
It's
also-
not only that, but he's a guy who holds the ball and then wants to create assists.
Well,
LeBron's a
He wants to
I
hold
mean,
the
ball.
ball.
the other problem is like Rondo and LeBron are older, so they can't really play 82 games with minutes. So they kind of mail in the first 3 months of the season, and don't go as hard as they can.
No, you're
which is
right.
why playoff Rondo is different than
Oh.
other Rondos, because once he gets to the
Playoff
playoff, he goes balls to the wall, knowing that
Yeah.
that it's the playoffs.
Right,
Do you
yeah.
think
So-
that was a problem last year with LeBron in the finals? He got tired.
I don't think so, because he did the same thing he's done the last
That's
4 or
true.
5 seasons. He mailed in the first 3 or 4.
That's true.
Which is, I mean, it's a. Go ahead.
Arguably, the reason why Cleveland did not win last year is not LeBron James, but rather J.R. Smith.
Oh no. The reason.
But don't worry, J.R. Smith wants to get traded because everybody wants J.R. Smith.
Because they're putting him on the bench doesn't freaking no. JR's trash.
I
The
would,
Cavs trash.
I would too. You didn't
Yeah.
even know what the score of the game is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. JR.
No.
I never been so mad in my life watching the basketball. How are you getting paid millions of dollars? You can't even look up at the scoreboard. It's literally
Facts.
it's there. The time is on the goal.
Yeah.
It's on the goal.
No, you don't have to
Come on.
convince me. All right. So let's switch back to wheelchair basketball for the last couple minutes before
Let's do it.
Gabe has to go and
Unfortunately.
spend time with his family. His entire family is here this weekend, so we really appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate me.
Before you spend the time. So what is your best wheelchair basketball memory?
Ooh.
Surprisingly, I have 2. They're kind of tied. Definitely, it was the national championship game. I'll never forget that. That was just, that's what you grow up and you want to win. And probably like this, second would be the quarterfinal game against Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Was like team effort. Like we were tied at half, and we were like, wow, we may not get there. Like there was that kind of like sense in the huddle at halftime, like, dude, this is getting real. And it was just a battle the whole time. And so it was awesome. And then I think me, like as an individual, last year at Whitewater, sorry J-Mac, but we were at Whitewater, we were playing Johnny Mac's team, and I hit the game-tying 3 to send us into overtime, and that was probably my best, like, individual.
Okay, so I want you, for you PTV viewers, you can't see this,
Yeah.
but Gabe brought what we call our Legacy Gray uniforms. And you don't wear your normal number, you wear a uniform of players before you, they're gray uniforms. And it's supposed to represent like the history of the program and what all of the alumni meant to us. So Gabe, in 4 to 5 years, you're going to get out of here. What do you want your legacy to be in both the wheelchair basketball community and the program as a whole when you leave?
A leader. I want to be that guy that's like, every day Gabe came into the gym and he was pushing harder than anyone else in the gym. And so I want to be that guy that everyone's like, wow, I kind of want to play how Gabe did. And it was like tenacious, it was aggressive, it was like for the team. And so I I want to leave that legacy of like that family and team oriented, because I truly believe the only way you can win championships is team.
Absolutely. So look out for both the interviews and the team pictures that should be coming out very, very soon. Those are going to be taken on Monday. Check those out. Follow Illinois Wheelchair Basketball on Facebook. That's where those will be found. Gabe, if you want to plug your social medias one more time.
I'm actually going to plug
Ooh.
our Facebook again. If you guys are interested in watching us next week, we will be live streaming.
Oh, we will be.
Yes, and so same thing as Josh just said, our Illinois Wheelchair Basketball Facebook page. Give that a look up, and we should be posting a link, and you can watch us being live streamed. I think our first game is at 2 o'clock.
Is that 2 o'clock?
Uh-huh.
And then we play 7 p.m. on
Yep.
next Friday, and then
Central Time.
Central Time.
Yep.
So the next week's show will not be live because we will be in Texas getting ready to take on Auburn.
Yep.
And what time do we play on Saturday?
On Saturday we play at 12 and 2.
Awesome. So check us out on there, and then we will also be posting for the following week. We
Yep.
have that scheduled, but I don't have that off the top of my head.
Yeah, and we play at 2 again, and then 6.
On
then,
Friday.
Yep, and then Saturday we play at 8 a.m. and 12.
Awesome.
So look out for the live streams there.
Oh,
Awesome.
jeez.
Well, Gabe.
8 a.m.
Yeah, 8 a.m. is very
It's
early.
going to be fun.
All right, Gabe. Thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having the show, guys.
You are listening to the Rollin Illini on WPGU 107.1. We'll be right back after this break. Don't leave. Welcome back to the Rollin Illini on WPGU 107.1. I'm Joshua Joins, joined by Miles Hill and Avery Schaefer. Once again, thanks to Gabe Denbraber for joining us today. Wow, I cannot believe I got that wrong at the beginning. That was fantastic. But the last marathon of the year is coming up this weekend, and there are some Illini wheelchair racers in there that I want to talk about. It's the New York City Marathon. Tatiana McFadden makes another marathon attempt along with Susanna Scaroni and Jenna Fessmeyer, who I interviewed earlier about the program at the Chicago Marathon, will also be there. Susanna and Tatiana McFadden are looking to be very strong competitors in the field. The weather is finally going to be good at a marathon. The Chicago Marathon weather was terrible. It rained the whole time. So a lot of people are thinking Tatiana will finally get back on top this weekend at the New York Marathon. For those watching on UPTV, the marathon's already happened, so you can check the results. That'll be awesome. And then on the men's side, Daniel Romachek, the 20-year-old stud that's here at the U of I, who might actually win every major event for the next 20 years, is going to be in the New York Marathon. So watch for him to win that. All right, let's go ahead and do it because I want people to get to this basketball game. So let's do our last big thing to wrap up the show this week. So Miles, you go first.
Alrighty, so your boy, I don't know if y'all knew, but I am a huge hip hop enthusiast.
Who are you really?
And yeah, there's only a couple rappers that I despise for only my personal reasons. They're actually great rappers. I love their music. I just love those people. Okay, and one of them is Jay-Z, because Jay-Z took his music off of Spotify.
Did he really?
Oh, it's been a problem for a while.
Well, because he owns Tidal.
Yeah, of course. It makes sense. Business-wise, it's a great decision, honestly. I'm just too broke for that.
He's a mogul.
I'm a college student, okay? What do you expect from me, Jay-Z?
And your proof of this?
My proof of this is that I have Spotify and there's no Jay-Z. That's my proof. But what I will say is that Jay-Z has come to his senses and gave people what they want. And now his music is back on YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube?
On YouTube. So, I've been getting
Vivo or whatever?
Yeah. Vivo music videos, and I cannot hold you guys. I've been on Jay-Z for the past like 2 weeks. It's just love of life.
So does that make you like, is he back on your good side?
He's back on my good side.
He's back on your good side? I'm just interested, who are the other rappers that for personal reasons you don't like?
For personal reasons. Drake.
Whoa, okay.
There's nothing wrong with Jake. I feel like he's just overhyped. All he does is, his own music is good, but he's best in his features, and then
we've had this discussion off air before.
And, so there's that. Personally, not a big Kanye fan. I
think Kanye finally jumped off the deep end.
Yeah. He just probably a good guy. I'm not gonna let the media judge all my opinion, but from what I'm seeing, it's not necessarily the greatest. So I don't listen to his music. The only music I listen to from Kanye now is stuff before stuff started going south.
Power.
808 Heartbreaks. Or his features.
Yeah.
If he's a feature in the song, I'll listen to it. But if
you don't like
his,
Yikes?
Oh no, don't even start with that thing. That's a behemoth of an album. Oh man, tough scene. But that's all I got for you this week. Is
Alright. As Jay-Z's
Jay-Z's back on my list.
Alright. Avery.
All right. I'd like to take this moment to acknowledge what has been going on in Pittsburgh and just say how much those families have been in my thoughts and prayers as a fellow Jew and as a fellow human being. Please help them.
Yeah, anti-Semitism has no place here in America, or no place in the world. And I was very heartbroken to see that last weekend. Those people are my thoughts and prayers, as are every religion and person. Mass shootings in this country have to stop, and you know, that's actually a great lead into my next thing, because the people who make the change to make that happen are the voters of this country. They vote in the people who make the change in this country, and on November 2nd, this Tuesday, so sorry UPTV once again, it's going to air after Election Day, so you're going to know the results of this.
No.
But the people listening
November
now,
6th.
oh, sorry, November 6th, my bad. Next Tuesday, the voters of this country have a decision to make, and there's a lot of issues that are prevalent to people with disabilities, healthcare being one of them. There's many ways to vote. If you're voting here in Champaign, there's like 8 places where you can vote early, and you can actually register to vote in Illinois on Election Day. So get out, have your voice heard. I saw some statistics from Rutgers University, a fellow Big Ten school, that said people with disabilities are 6% less likely than their able-bodied counterparts to vote. And that if everybody who voted, like if we matched our able-bodied counterparts, that would be 2 million more votes. And 2 million votes can swing an election, especially national elections. So it's really important, with healthcare being so important, with mass shootings, that everybody vote, but specifically people with disability, to step up and vote. And so this is my plea to you guys: get out, vote in any way you can. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, get out and vote, because the only way to make sure that you are represented by people who have the same views as you is that you vote. And so with that, we're going to wrap up the show this week. Get out to the Illinois basketball game at State Farm Center if you're in town. This has been the Rollin Illini for Avery, Schaefer, Miles Hill. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Gabe, for joining us. And we will see you next week here on the Rollin Illini. Have a great weekend.